Hello everyone, this is my fourth time attempting this video because the first time I went off script and forgot where I was. The second time I didn't have my mic on the whole time. The third time my computer crashed and I lost my script. So now this fourth time I'm just gonna go. So you know who I am, maybe. If not, hi, I'm Scoot. I'm a professional coach and analyst. I've worked with teams like CLG in 2015, and since then I've been a head coach for a bunch of smaller challenger teams. That's not the point. Right now, we're going to be talking about franchising and relegation again. Because in a recent article written by Slingshot Esports, place of which I used to work at, they revealed that the LCS owners got together and basically told Riot, look, we need more money. And there are ways you can give us more money, but the best way to give us more money is to get rid of relegations so we can get more sponsors and the like. Now, I have a few issues with this because in their outline, they say give us more stipend, give us more money from skins, give us more money from icons, give us more money from world's icons. Those are all extremely solid ideas, and I like those all a lot. And I feel like, with the amount of money Riot makes from even a single World Breaker skin, they can dip into that and put some of that into an LCS team. You feel? Because 25% of Championship Z revenue went to the world's prize pool and increased it by, I think it was 5 million. So imagine 25% of Star Guardian Jinx or 25% of Elementalist Lux going to, like, being spread out amongst the LCS teams. That is going to be a lot of freaking money going to those LCS teams. So with all of those demands being met, these LCS teams, they should have no problems when it comes to money. But the next part of their argument is, we can't have long-lasting sponsors. We can't invest ourselves accordingly when there's the risk of relegations, which there are many counter arguments for why relegations should stay. The entire European Soccer Federation being one of them, well, the best one. But in fairness, I can see their concerns. They want to make sure that they stay in the league and that they make as much money from this league as possible. But let's be real, it shouldn't be about making money. It should be about the competition. This is a sports league. You are not in it to make money. You play sports to win sports. You play sports, well, esports in this example, to win esports. If you don't want to win worlds, then why are you even in the LCS? If you don't want to get to the LCS, then why are you in Challenger Series? If you don't want to get to Challenger Series, then why are you in Battlegrounds? It goes all the way to the bottom to being in Challenger itself. If you don't want to win, then why are you in Challenger? That kind of thing. So, my argument here today is these teams are in the right place when it comes to, wanting to take care of their players and wanting to pay them more and wanting to, have more money for themselves to make the orgs better and to pay the coaches more, pay the support staff more. But they're going about it completely wrong in trying to demand that relegation goes away. In my previous script that I lost, I basically talked about, like, all of this stuff surrounding, like, they're greedy for wanting all of this money guaranteed, and they're cowards if they think, it's okay to have all of this just money flowing into them and be safe. But I can legitimately understand their concerns now after having going over this the fourth time. Like, yes, they want to be safe, they want to have that money, and I can see why they think getting rid of relegations is the best course of options, because Challenger Series for NA and EU both suck massive donkey dong. There's no way if Dignitas, well, they were already relegated. If they get relegated again, they will have no support from Riot. They will have, well, very little support from Riot because, let's be real, those NACS teams are not getting jack shit. They play online their matches at a time nobody knows because it's then streamed pre-recorded to you. So they don't get lot you don't get the live action. You get action that has been done a few hours earlier. Plus with streaming on internet, you might get DDoSed. I mean, playing on the internet, you might get DDoSed, more technical issues might arise, and you could probably try to cheat using technical issues as an excuse, like, oh, I don't know, reinstalling that script on your Zerath in the middle of the game or something. I don't know, but it's possible. It's not very good environment overall. They're like, name one team in the Challenger Series that was not a farm team for an LCS team. You're gonna have a hard time doing that. And the only one I think I remember is Dream Team. And even then, I'm still not sure because I might be confusing them with like an OPL team. I can't even tell you. There's no name recognition if you fall to the NACS. If you fall to the NACS, it is either a death sentence to either stay there, or it's like you have to rebuild or you have to sell. Paris Saint Germain, they bought into the NACS, and much like what Origin did, like Cloud9 Tempest did, they're probably going to break out and get to, the EU LCS, NA Cloud9 Tempest, though, however, obviously did it for the greed reasons, which is easy $1 million because we're Cloud9. Paris Saint Germain, they really want to do it. They want to break into the scene, and they think doing it from the ground up is the best way to do it. These are European soccer orgs. They know, you got to start at the bottom to get to the top. And with Schalke FC, they said, all right, we got relegated. We messed up. We're going to look internally. We're going to look at management. We're going to come back next season. We're going to come back stronger. They might have lost some fans. They might have gained some fans because of their determination. But the fact remains, they're determined to get back up in there. And they're not afraid to spend the money to get back up in there. Now, that might be another concern coming out of these NA and EU orgs, that maybe they don't have the money to compete with Paris Saint-Germain, to compete with Echo Fox's Rick Fox, who actually did not sign this agreement. Shout out to Rick Fox, because I think this agreement is total bullshit when it comes to removing relegations for greedy purposes, because these teams just want to be safe and they don't want this competition from all this capital coming in. Like Dignitas's 76ers money, or Shaq's Energy money. Like Energy, they got relegated anyway, so they don't really matter. But if that money did something, then these teams wouldn't be able to compete, because Shaq, huge amount of money. He's millions and millions just by himself. I'm not sure what the worth of Reggie is or what Hotshot is, but I mean, they have a lot of smaller teams, like the CSGO team. They used to have the Halo team. I think TSM Trump is their Hearthstone player. Vainglory teams. Like, these are all other teams, but they don't bring in as much money. So I can see why these owners are basically trying to protect themselves from all this new capital coming in. Because they don't, like, TSM doesn't want to get relegated by Carmelo Anthony buys an NA Challenger spot, dumps a shit ton of money in it to buy any player he wants, and now Carmelo Anthony's team just relegated TSM. Reginald's not going to like that, because his excuse is going to be, I didn't have the money to pay my players because Riot wouldn't give me the money. Fair to an extent, because Riot can give you the money, but at the end of the day, it's your own fault if your team loses. Because if they don't have the motivation, if they don't have the support staff, if they don't have the skill, that's all on the players, that's all on the support staff. So that's all on them. If that team loses, it is their fault. I have been in, well, not a similar situation, but I've been in do or die situations where if we win here, we go to the next round. If we lose here, we have to look at ourselves. What did we do wrong? Make sure it's better the next time. And depending on your team, you might come out stronger on the other side. You might not. If you're Bjergsen and you get bought by Carmelo Anthony's new team and you go to the Challenger Series to, Spring split doesn't matter anyway. If you win the summer split, you go to Worlds. So Carmelo Anthony's LA Knicks are making a huge splash. They buy Bjergsen, they buy Impact, they buy X-Smithy. I don't even know who a star jungler is. Yankos? Yeah, they buy Yankos, buy Forgiven, whoever else. They're amazing. All of these orgs are going to be scared. Oh no, we're going to get beat by this guy, we're going to get relegated by this guy, and it's because we don't have the money to compete. That's where I think their issue lies. And that's where I think they are wrong. Because their current fear, and I've said it in the past and I'll say it again, their current fear is that they're going to be basically pushed out by all this much larger money. But what I think they should be doing is not going to Riot for more money. They should be going to potential investors for more money. Because Shaq, he dumped a lot of money. He got relegated. He's going to be like, oh, well, I lost a few $100,000. He has millions in the bank. He doesn't give a shit. These LCS owners, they need to find other people who don't give a shit. CLG, you just talked to Hotshot. You just talked to Elon Musk. Just say, hey, give me $1 million for my League of Legends team, and I'll put your name on our jerseys. And then he puts like, oh, okay. SpaceX now sponsors CLG. $1 million in CLG's bank. And maybe they're SpaceX Logic Gaming now or something. I don't know. But you see SpaceX on every single jersey. They get all that revenue, that dank Elon Musk revenue. And if they can't do anything with that money, then that's either them investing it poorly, or the players did poorly, or the sports staff did poorly. It comes down to the team itself. How they invest the money they get from Riot, or the money they want to get from Riot, obviously will have to go straight to the League of Legends teams. But if every team is getting an equal amount of money, then there won't be competition to buy players from other teams. And if you're trying to scout new players, it's basically going to come down to who will these players want to play for. If my favorite team is CLG and I get approached by Liquid, Apex, well, Liquid, Dignitas, and TSM, I'm probably going to say yes to Dignitas because I wouldn't want to play for TSM and have that conflict against CLG because, TSM is their rival, whatever. That's my own internal thought process. And then, if they're all offering the same amount of money as well, like $5,000 for a day, I don't know. I don't know how much LCS players get paid. I wouldn't know, not yet. But if it came down to like which of the three main rivals of your favorite team would you want to play for, I would probably try to choose the lesser one, especially if they're all giving me the same amount of money. Or because like if I'm already playing in the LCS, I wouldn't really care about personal brand or like brand recognition. It's like I'm playing a win and I would go to whichever team wants to win the most. And if that happens to be like if Dignitas really impresses me with how much they want to win, it's like, yeah, sign me up for that sweet 76ers money. So, competition buying players that might be lost when Riot gives them all their own individual stipends. And I think I'm going off track a little here, which is what ruined my first video. So I'm going to try to get back onto the topic of these LCS owners and their money. I've said it a few times already. They're just afraid that they're going to lose out to these big investors. It's a fine fear to have, but they're going about it all wrong. Relegations are there to make it so these smaller teams, these smaller organizations have shots to make it big. Like we have in the European Premier League, Leicester City, I think it's pronounced that way, Leicester City. They won the whole thing after having been relegated, coming back up, and then winning the whole thing. 5,001 odds in Las Vegas. But they fucking did it, and it was magnificent and the happiest moments of a lot of people's lives. Same thing happened with Cloud9. They were nobodies, they got promoted, they won NALCS, went to Worlds. Origin, they had their Bronze to Worlds stream. G2, same thing. Promotions to Worlds. Unicorns, promotions to top 4. Who's that last one? Dig EU, Splice. promotions to Worlds. Again, all of these teams have taken advantage of the promo system, and all of these teams have signed it, have signed this letter, and it basically makes them out to be hypocrites because these are people that have taken advantage of the system and now they want to break the system so they can remain on the top. It's like nothing I have seen before, and I think it is a very greedy move by these organizations, all of them that have signed this letter. Once again, shout out to Rick Fox. I sent an application a few weeks ago to be a coach. Give it a look. Thanks. And I think it's kind of a cowardly move. Obviously, a definitely greedy move, and a cowardly move. Because if these teams are thinking, if they're thinking already with fear in their minds that this lack of money will get them relegated, then I think they've already lost the battle. Because it's not a lack of money that'll get you relegated. It is a lack of motivation from your players. And I feel like no matter where you are, your absolute last thought if you're competing is we have to win. You have to win the next one, you have to win this one, you have to win tomorrow, you have to win. That should be your only thought when you're competing. I might be moving to Australia to coach an OPL team. When I get there, I'm going to say, what are your goals? Is it to win? Win what? Win OPL? Wrong. Your goal is to win Worlds. You want to win Worlds. And if you don't think you can do that, I want you out of here. If you think you can do that, good. We're going to do it. We're all going to win. We're going to win and win and win until we're tired of winning. We're not going to get tired of winning. But the point remains, like, if we lose, we have to keep thinking, we have to win, we have to win, we have to win. If we get relegated, we're going to think, we have to win, we have to win. If we get relegated again, we're going to think, we have to win, we have to win. It's a competition. You always have to think, we have to win. You shouldn't be thinking, oh, if I don't get paid X amount of dollars, I'm going to not win. No, no, no. If you're already thinking like that, you get the fuck off my team. Because I am in it to win it. And if you're not worth shit. And I'm sure none of the players in the LCS are thinking, how am I not going to win today? And they're all thinking, let's all win. But the mentality I got from reading this letter to Riot was, it's your fault we are not the best we can be because we have this fear of being relegated. That's how I read it. That's how I felt it inferred. This is my video. I can say what I think. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine, because this is my video. You don't have to watch it. You can say why you think my opinion is wrong. That's fine too. But that is honestly the reaction I got from reading that letter. It was, we are in fear of being relegated. We are in fear that these teams will come in with more money than us and relegate us. So we want to nip it at the bud. We want you to give us more money, and we want that threat of relegation to be gone, so then we can be the best that we can be. And it's like, if you didn't already try to win Worlds this year, there was Cloud9 signature on there was CLG signature, there was G2 signature, and obviously they all shit the bed at Worlds. If they weren't already trying their best, were they using the fear of relegation as an excuse when they went home on the plane from Worlds? I don't buy that. I think when they come home from Worlds and when next season starts up, they're not going to have the fear of relegation, because they shouldn't be thinking about what'll happen if we lose. They should be thinking, let's win. Let's win, let's win, let's win, let's win. And until they beat the Koreans, I feel like they should have no fear of losing. They shouldn't even think about what'll happen if we lose. They should think, how are we going to win this? We're behind. How are we going to win this? How are we going to win this? How are we going to win this? And if anyone at any point thinks we're losing because some silly reason, then it's going to be a slap upside the head and be like, no. You're going to say, how do we win this? We're behind. You don't say we're losing because someone got killed or someone got camped. You're going to say, someone got killed, someone got camped. How do we win this? that should be the mentality, because any inkling of loser's mentality or negative mentality brings down the team. And once again, from this letter, I read, you know, we're afraid that we're going to get relegated. You shouldn't be thinking about relegations ever until you're in them. And at that point, you think, how do we win these relegations? It's like, it just hits a certain bone in my body and riles me up, because I see these guys, they're like, and the Redditor at the current top of the comment section put it perfectly. They climbed up the ladder and they're trying to pull it up with them so nobody else can use that ladder. And it's definitely true. I am someone who has tried really hard to break into Challenger Series, quarterfinalist in the Battlegrounds tournament, even though that kind of amounts to shit because that doesn't mean anything. You know, I've worked with a lot of great teams, and I want to get to that NACS, I want to get to the NALCS, and if my avenue gets cut off, then what am I to do as a coach? What are the players to do that I've all coached? What are they to do? How do they do it? Scouting grounds? That's not really going to help unless the Challenger Series becomes something like AAA baseball or AA baseball, where it's just the farm teams for the major league teams. So the the way I see it, these coaches, I mean not these coaches, these owners are afraid, they're scared, and they want to nip their fears in the bud by basically telling Riot, you know, get rid of relegations or we riot. And if they don't get rid of relegations, I'm super, super hoping for a lockout, because that might be the only way I get to coach LCS. You know, grab me and a few other challenger boys. We get up there. You know, TSM and CLG ain't playing. Who we playing against this week? Oh, we're playing against Gosu's team. Yeah. Imagine Gosu and Trick 2G in the LCS, boys. Nah, but if relegations were to stay, and if the owners were to like lock out or force a cancellation of the spring split, let's be real, nothing of value is lost anyway, because spring split is meaningless in the current climate, and unless Riot are looking to change that already, then really nothing of value is lost until they come to a deal and say, oh, we've decided to get rid of relegations and keep the teams at 10 maximum. Here are your 10 teams for the rest of forever. And fucking Dignitas and whoever buys Cloud9 Tempest spot are on there. I'm going to be a little upset, because now I know there's no hope for me. And I think that's going to be it for this video. It's super deviated from what I originally wanted to say, because I hate my life and I lost my computer. I mean, I lost my script. So I'm a little miffed about that, because most of this video is totally like ranty and a little off base of what I actually wanted to say. But it gets my feelings across for the most part, and I feel like that's the most important part. You gotta let yourself be heard, let your feelings be known, and especially in a place like this LCS climate, like this early infancy of esports, I'm someone that wants to see the best possible outcome for esports, for League of Legends esports, and honestly, at this stage in the game, franchising should not be an option. Maybe 5 years down the road, if it remains sustainable. Like if TSM, CLG, and Cloud9 go to Worlds every year for the next 10 years, then I feel like, yeah, they can argue for franchising. But until that happens, we need relegations. We need relegations for the next few years at the very least. And please, for the love of God, Reginald, Hotshot, whoever else is watching this, Ocelot, XPeke, please, for the love of God, do not get rid of relegations. Because, especially for G2 and Origin, it's pretty hypocritical. Alright, I think that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. I play video games sometimes. Right now I'm on a Poppy OTP Bronze to Challenger grind. I went from Bronze to gold, like bronze 3 to gold 4 in like 2 weeks. So it's going pretty good so far. Twitter, I post esports stuff. Patreon, you can give me $1 a month, and I'll be super grateful because I want to make a career out of esports. So I think the best way to do that is to do something like that. You know, uh, content creation. I should get into more content creation. I was thinking about launching another YouTube channel. I might tie into that because, like, if you go to my Patreon, you'll see there's art on there. There's stuff not related to League of Legends. There's like comics and shit. There might be anime shit in the future because I like to do a lot of stuff, and I feel like if I do make something, I should put it somewhere. And if I put it somewhere, it might as well all be together somewhere. So if you like anything I've ever done, like if you like my League of Legends videos, but you don't really like my art, that's fine, because I'm a pretty shitty artist, you know, so far. But anyway, yeah, that's my Patreon. I might be adding more stuff to that Patreon. Look out for a new YouTube channel that I might be making in the future. I'm not sure if I want to kick off with that or not. I mean, I have a lot of free time. I should dedicate it to content creation if I want to be a content creator, right? Yeah, probably. Once again, thank you for watching. Hopefully there's no technical difficulties with this video, because this is my 4th try, and Jesus Christ, I hate my life and I want to die.